Transitioning from analysis to UI design. So the foundation for user interface design is built from the use case definitions as described in Lesson 3. You learned earlier in the previous lessons how to document the interactions between the user and the system using use case descriptions, activity diagrams, and most importantly, system sequence diagrams. Most use cases require direct user interaction and become the starting point for a dialogue or form. Use cases usually require the user to input choices and data into the system, or may generate outputs in response to a user request, such as when tracking a shipment. Menus provide the mechanisms first to organize use cases and second to invoke a particular use case or user dialogue. In all but the smallest systems, menus are needed to present the user with a number of choices per screen, to group related functions together so users can more easily locate them, and to properly sequence related forms to handle complex procedures. So these figures here show two different menu styles. So this one, the mouse pointer is positioned over the shop item of the upper menu in a web page. And here, it shows a more complex menu design with 3 menu levels displayed. So, how does a designer decide which use cases and user interfaces to include, which menus are required, and how many menu levels are required? So these decisions are driven both by organization of the menus, flat versus deep, by the number of use cases or menu choices, and by the limits of human cognition. For a typical business system, dividing the total number of interactive use cases by 5 provides an initial estimate of the number of menus needed that includes all use cases and allows for additional menu items, such as setting options or preferences. Use cases with common actors and event decomposition, or that implement CRUD actions for specific domain classes, are good candidates to be grouped into a single menu or related group of menus. For example, consider the RMO system use cases shown in this table, these two tables. So an initial grouping of these cases by actors, the customers, representatives, and subsystem, the sales and the order fulfillment, is a good starting point for menu design. And this figure here, this table here, shows the use cases shown in this example that is grouped into 4 menus. So here we have shopping cart, sales creation, order shipment, and customer order control. So each menu collects use cases from one subsystem for a customer or the sales representative. So the number of menu choices range from 4 to 7, which won't overload any one menu and may enable multiple menu levels to be displayed at one time. So a dialog design is created for each menu option. So you should note that designers often discover missing or incomplete use cases during user interface design, which results in a brief return to analysis activities to complete the documentation. Menus also include options that are not activities or use cases from the event list. So many of these options are related to the system controls, such as account maintenance or database backup and recovery, which are discussed in the book. So other added items include help links as well as links to other menus or subsystems.